Good morning, good evening, and good night. My name is Thomas Seabury Canarian, and you are watching Email Academy, how to use automations to connect, engage, and convert. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got my favorite people. You hear me say that a lot, but that is because we've got a lot of dang good people over here that work with us. And you know them. They are my favorites. First and foremost, let me get to the good stuff over here. All right. With the newly promoted principal product manager, Natalie Lynch. How is it going back from Europe?
Feeling quite good. I'm a principal now.
Told us
How are
yesterday
you?
she's going to send us all to detention because she's a principal
Yeah.
now. So,
Yeah. If you don't use automations, that's going to be the pun for the entire time.
yeah, exactly. Written up. All right, and moving down the line, you receive her emails all the time from us over at Mailjet and Mailgun. The best email marketing manager in the world, senior email marketing
Oh,
manager, Julia Ritter. How's it going?
it's good. It's good. Thank you. What a compliment.
Hey, you're dang good at your job. All right, the people gotta know. The people gotta know. You're an expert for a reason. All right, ladies and gents, and moving down the line here. So let me go on this up here as well. You obviously see our amazing, beautiful faces and stuff like that. But I also want to talk about our support team backing us up. We've got Anastasia and Efton backing us up on the support side, answering some technical questions in the QA. And also we have Chloe helping us out, throwing some blog posts and stuff like that in the chat. So thank you for being here with us. All right. Okay. So real quick. Yeah, we're talking about all this fun stuff with automations, why email automation is essential, common automation terminology, common automation workflows, how to set up your first automation, and tips. But I want to read the room really quick. All right, so that's been my favorite thing to do lately. Is let's roll a poll. Let's roll a poll, shall we? All right. First and foremost, I want to know, ladies and gentlemen, are you a Mailjet user? So I'm going to go ahead and throw that up there. Let me know if you are. If you're not, that's all right. Just curious. Just want to know.
Roll a poll. What a one-liner.
Roll call. Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
a
I
good
came up with
one.
that on this.
We're going to make it a thing.
If you can't see
Roll
the
that
poll,
ball.
you go to the poll tab up above the chat,
Yeah.
Exactly.
by the way. And it's also where you'll find the Q&A where you can ask us all the questions you want.
You're so helpful. That's why you're the
Oh,
best.
look at this split 50-50. This is interesting.
We
Good to
love a
know.
split.
You love it. It's going to be so
All right.
fun.
Good to know.
Very
Good to
cool.
know.
Loving it.
Okay. I'll give you guys just a few more seconds, and then we can move on to our next one because we got another question for you.
Roll the
All
second
right.
poll.
Here we go. Okay. Man, it's still coming in.
Yeah, for real. We love to see this.
Yeah, we're just
How
curious.
exciting.
We're just curious.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping it dead even. I love this.
Yeah.
Literally.
If you've already voted, go in the Q&A and tell us any burning questions about automations so we can be sure to answer them at the end.
Exactly.
So that way, it's already done. You got something on your mind? Tell us.
All right. Okay. I think that's a good stopping point right there. All right, I'm gonna go and stop sharing that one. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close that poll. All right, next question. I want to know. Let's see. Want to showcase how you're succeeding with Mailjet in a future Email Academy session? Would you possibly want to come on to Email Academy and talk about your success story?
This is a big one.
And I love the nose. All right.
Just immediate honesty. We love the transparency.
You do not have to present. You don't
That's
have to be
true.
on camera. We would just like to hear about your success with Mailjet, how you use it. Just want to learn from you too.
Yeah.
You do not by any means need to come on and do this and talk to us.
True.
Yeah, we're not going to force anyone to talk to us.
I love the straight nose though. Love being honest.
You guys, y'all are fun though. Y'all are fun. And if anyone did have the pleasure of hanging out with y'all, it'd be a good time. So Don't worry.
A lot of puns.
You got some
A lot of puns.
maybes and a yes, so good to know.
Hey, we
Good
got
to know.
a yes. That we got one yes. You'll be
We'll
hearing
take
from
it. Take
us,
it.
not us.
We'll take
Someone
it.
less intense.
Oh man. All right, y'all. Well, I'm gonna go and let our amazing presenters go ahead and take it away from here. And I'll see you guys for Q&A. But yeah, let's learn about automation, shall we? See you in a moment.
Let's get
do
started.
it. All right. So we're gonna hop back into our agenda for the day. Why we're here. Why email automations is essential. We're going to talk about some common automation terminology and some common automation workflows. And then we're going to get into how to setting up your first automation and tips for optimizing workflows to drive even better results.
Yep.
So yeah, that's what we're going to get going with today. On to the next, yeah? So anyone out there wondering what an automation is, you've come to the right place. Email marketing automations, they're a tool that are used to automate tasks, emails, and other updates within an ESP typically, or a marketing related platform. So you can automate different aspects that you would normally be manually doing that helps free you up for, I don't know, analyzing more segmentation, more personalization, and overall improvement. So they're just a great tool to automate some of those tasks, make your customers engaged, to nurture them, and to ensure that you're not missing out on any right moment. So
Perfect.
Let's take a look. Automations, they are the emails sender's not so secret competitive edge because we know they exist. We're not going to lie about that. But let's go look at the essentials. What
Why
do we
are
need to
they
know?
so
Yeah. What is
the competitive edge?
what's the competitive edge to automations? Well, they save you time, and who doesn't need time saved? I could use some time saved right now. How about you, Julie?
Yes, I really could.
Yeah.
I really could.
Yeah. They help us consistently engage with our audience, which, as we know, in email marketing, it's really important to be engaging our audience. So that consistent engagement, because we don't have time for every send, automations really steps in and helps us with that. They also help us to personalize and customize that email experience so we can create workflows that connect with our audience, get them information that they want to know at the relevant time for where they are in the life cycle. We can acknowledge really important moments, sure, birthdays, anniversaries, other special events, like, I don't know, if you have a giant feature release. And you can also utilize it to collect subscribers. So more information about your subscribers so that you can drive that personalization and you can get further with that right content, right person. It's not just for sending email. That's a very common use case, but it is also available for updating contact fields. So, and maintaining contact lists. So if we have unengagers, we can kind of move them around, auto unsubscribe people, updating, say their favorite color changes and they want to tell you about it. You can update that in automation. So that's kind of the overview of the essentials. And I'm going to go ahead and let Julia take it away from here.
Okay. So before we really dive in, we want to go over some common terminology that you're going to hear with automations. This is going to change from ESP to ESP. Everyone has kind of different terminology, but they all mean kind of the same thing. So you just have to learn based on like what ESP you're using, or what marketing platform you're using that has automations, what they call this. Pretty common, you're going to hear, oh yes, thank you. Email service provider is ESP.
Acronyms get people, so
I know the acronyms get me. Trigger. So this is something like, consider this the inciting incident. So it's going to kick off your automation. I know I use inciting it. What starts this process that keeps the automation going? So it's based on criteria or conditions that your contact is meeting, that your data is meeting, that are going to make them go into this automated workflow. This could be they enter a segment. They have a specific contact criteria. They perform an event, like they sign up for something. They sign up for your newsletter. They change their favorite color to blue in your platform, something like that. Condition, criteria, attribute. These are like the main components of a lot of things that you use for email. So it could be, again, character, contact, attributes, a lot of C's in there. Character or contact contact attributes or properties. They can also be behavioral criteria. So if they recently opened an email, if they recently unsubscribed, things like that. You often use these components in triggers, in filters, in segments, which we'll get to next. So they're like the building blocks of these other elements that go into email and automations in general. Segment. This is a smaller section of your larger list. A lot of us use segmentation all the time. It's good for engagement, good for deliverability. Based on specific criteria or conditions or attributes. I should have like a funnel or like the bone song where like this is connected to this and this is connected to this. Write that down.
We'll be expecting that by end of day. The email autonomy song.
That's a good one. The goal. So not just your overarching goal of your campaign, but a goal of an automation is, what does the contact need to do? What does the person in your automation need to do to consider it successful? Do they upgrade? Do they purchase? Do they click on your email? What's the goal of automation? Because that's how you measure. A lot of people call it conversions, or a lot of ESPs call it a conversion. Doesn't necessarily, and conversion is specific to your use case. So just keep that in mind. Filter, this is something that filters your contacts out of your automation. So if they meet the criteria in your filter, they get removed, or they can go down a different path. Sounds like what it is. Event, again, this is going to change by your email service provider. This is something that it's a different, you could import criteria this way. You could import contact attributes this way via an event if they perform something on your website, in your platform. An event taken by that contact that kicks off the automation. So that can also be a trigger. I know that's confusing, but like I said, they're all connected. The timer delay wait step timer. So that's just a wait step in the automation itself for how long you want someone to wait before receiving something, or wait before they get up, their contact information gets updated. Usually before an email, usually after an email. Again, varies depending on what your goal is. Fallback route. This is something that if they don't meet the flow criteria in your main flow, and Natalie can explain this a little bit further later, they have a fallback, which they're still receiving something, or they're still getting updated in some way, but it's not the main one that you expected, the main path that you expected. Re-entry, cadence, frequency. Those are how many times or when can a contact come back into an automation? Is it immediately? Is it within a year? And what is the reentry criteria that they have to meet to come back into the automation? So just keep those things in mind. Especially, you don't want someone to leave and then the frequency be daily or never, and if you want them to receive that every day, or you want that contact property to be updated every day, that's up to you, but that might be a little much. Exit when they leave. When do you want people to leave? You can put an exit anywhere. If they don't open an email, get out of there. Or I'm just kidding, you don't have to do that. But you can put an exit anywhere in the automation, basically, based on, again, what your goal is, their behavior. Just at the end, once everything is done, up to you.
So many different terms.
So many different terms, a lot to remember. Like I said, with your email service provider, read up on what they use so that you are using your own terminology. But I think I tried to cover as much general and try to include as much as we can.
I think the best thing about most of these terms is they fall in line with the real definition as we've used them elsewhere. And ESPs are pretty good at displaying it. So
yeah.
All right.
Cool. Well, whether you're building them from scratch or using an ESP's automation template, there's a few that you should be aware of. We're going to go through them all definitions. So, and obviously, and like as an email user, you've probably been put in a lot of these automations from other brands. I'm definitely in a lot of welcome onboarding sequences, which are when you sign up for a newsletter list or you sign up for a new product. Most likely, like think of if you sign up for a 20% off for e-commerce, you're probably going to put into some sort of welcome that you then get an email that says, here's your welcome to the list. You're now getting 20% off. What do you think? Onboarding, that would be more for like welcoming someone to your product, to your platform. It's kind of more of a nurture sequence. A welcome email is part of an onboarding, but it kind of walks them through what they're going to experience with you. Right, Natalie, any notes on that?
No, I mean, I think the one call out I'd say is this is after the double opt-in. So that's not going to be part. Like, it's like you've double opted in and then you're getting that like, hey, welcome to the list, or like, thanks for joining. And then you start getting the emails that trickle in. That's when the automation is going to kick in.
Yeah. And this kind of takes care of things for you. Like Natalie said, automations take care of the personalization and the timing for you. So if you were to, like an anniversary birthday email, you don't need to monitor, okay, Natalie's anniversary is May 1st. So every year on May 1st, I need to go email her. You can make it more personalized, but in an automation so that it's done for you every year and you're retaining that relationship with her. But it's, I'm trying not to look at the Bone song, but it's still taking care of and automated and made sure that Natalie knows that you're acknowledging her anniversary. I'm ignoring it.
My favorite time of the year is like the week before my birthday, going in and finding like all the little freebies I get because people do it. And like I subscribe to a lot. I'm in the business, so I'm there. But gosh, the freebies you get on your birthday, and those people are using automations, and people know about it. So
people know about it, yeah. And I don't care that I'm in an automation for those anniversary emails. I really don't. Keep it coming. Abandoned cart, but also abandoned scenario. This is not just don't think of abandoned cart just for e-commerce. It could be for any industry. If they abandon a task or abandon your website or just leave, stop whatever they're doing where you want them to do. You could follow up with them to prompt them to pick up where they left off. And some of us need that reminder. I know I do. We talked in the last Email Academy, and I have the link in this. I'll provide it in the chat. But it's also called a win back. You could, I think, like the most successful abandoned scenarios or win backs is within an hour, and then like it starts to drop off after that, which is really interesting because you think like, oh, an hour, that's, may seem kind of quick to you as an email sender setting this up. It might seem annoying to you, but it works. So
I mean, how many times in the day are you doing something and then you get an IM or you get an email and then you do that and you're like, wait, what was I doing? I live by these reminder emails. I know they're coming, so I almost like let myself forget.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. You let yourself forget. And sometimes you get discounts if you've been in that scenario. And you're like, oh, wait, come back. And here's 10% off. Dare to dream. Okay. A nurture. This is a way to keep in touch with your audience using a steady cadence of emails. So not just like a set it and forget it, but you're using content you think they'd enjoy. You're keeping them engaged. And it could just be something, and like you could do it based on their behavior and kind of modify it based on their experience and interactions with your website, with your other emails. So just a way to keep in touch and keep them engaged with your brand. Contact property update, like we said, automations are not just for emails. It could be, they take an action. You say they visited this most recent website page or web page, and you update it in their profile, or they update their profile on your website to my favorite color is blue, and you update that in your ESP to use for later. Natalie, any other good examples here? I think you're going to show a good one later.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is like the most common, like the basic where you start. There are so many specifics that you can use with automations that are going to be so industry related. I recently used automations for onboarding a beta feature. And it was really awesome because essentially I could go out and I could ask people, like, do you want to be a part of this? And when they said yes, I would update their contact property and then they could get the series of information. So they weren't waiting on me because we're distributed across time zones. And it was such an easy way to do it instead of having to like manage the tasks, very specific to like what I do. So there are so many like that. But yeah, this is great.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. You could use it for internal tasks. That's obviously I am an email sender, so that's what I do. Like that's where I lean toward. But that's a very good perspective because like you could use it for team reminders to nudge people to do something. Well, it's a good idea. And lastly, the re-engagement. This is again another type of nurture, kind of a win back, but this is for people who have gone dormant, who have kind of like stopped engaging with you. You can use this as a way to like, again, win them back, kind of get them re-engaging with your content. And if they don't after a certain period of time, you could unsubscribe them or like send them a final email and say, we've tried to contact you. We don't want to keep being a bother in your inbox. We're going to unsubscribe unless you take an action, or unsubscribe you unless you take an action. So it's a good way to see if people will do it or see if you can win those people back based on new updates or new updates in your industry, things like that, new sales you have going on. But if they're not going to be interested, that's okay. You want to get those dormant people off your list eventually so that because it impacts your engagement metrics, you know? Okay, Natalie, time for the fun stuff. Uh-oh. So how do you set up your first automation?
Very carefully. Yeah, so I think, there's a lot of terms. There's a lot of things to remember. We've said like you have to think of a lot of things but I think when you're getting in there we all get decision fatigue. Step back and start with your goal. I think everything in life should have a goal, right? I'm going to walk to my coffee machine. It's the goal of getting coffee. But when you're setting up the automation, really understanding what you want the outcome to be. Like, what is the goal? Is it onboarding your users? Is it re-engagement? Is it, making sure you touch point with them at a special date or a special time to them or to your business? That goal, high level, is very important because it's going to help you trickle down every decision you need to make in your automation from there. The next, I think, crucial decision you really need to make is to select a start trigger criteria. What did you say earlier, Julia?
The inciting incident.
The inciting incident. That sounds like chaos, and I love it. It's just like she's causing
it's like a book term, like when you're writing
the
inciting incident.
I like it. Yeah. I've been referring to it as your, entrance criteria, but I like the inciting incident. It sounds chaotic, and I'm about that. So I think that's really important. It really depends again on that goal. It's going to help you define that. So we're kind of trickling down on that flow chart we keep talking about that we don't have. When you define your starting criteria, you're then going to define your audience, right? You're going to say, should your audience be new subscribers? Because it's a welcome journey. And then you're going to start building out that flow with timing in mind. And then we're going to test, we're going to optimize, and we're going to repeat. Just because it's automated does not mean it is dead. Right? Like it's not done. It's
right.
not, we're not setting it and forgetting it. We're going to set it, we're going to take a break and we're going to look back at it and optimize it. Chats are so distracting. Okay.
So we have tips for optimizing later, but this is not something you just, no automation is something you just leave and then never look at again. Like that's, so set and forget is not, let's get that out of our brain. Set and forget.
Yeah, we're not going to set and forget it. We're going to set and optimize and repeat it. I was going for like wash, rinse, and repeat, and it just like didn't come through. I was like, how do I do it? Test, optimize, and repeat, like wash, rinse, and repeat. Automate, review, and repeat. I don't know. We'll work on that with the bone song or the email anatomy song. Chat, I have a very important question for you. Take this seriously. What is your favorite movie makeover montage?
This
Throw
is
the
for the
chat.
chat.
This
What's
for
your
the
favorite
chat.
movie makeover montage?
We want to hear it because we recently went through my favorite makeover montage here at Mailjet. And we're going to show it to you in the demo because we just redid automations. For those who do not know, it's a brand new experience, and I'm excited to share it.
We're so
So,
excited.
not a single movie montage. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Does no one watch
Get it.
movies in this chat? Oh, Pretty Woman. Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a very good one.
Yeah, we were asking everyone before we got on, and Miss Congeniality, that is a really
That's a
good
good one.
one.
I just watched that a couple weeks ago for the first time in a long
Wait.
time.
Okay.
No, in a long time. And so good.
Why isn't it letting me screen share, y'all?
Muriel's wedding. Well, you have to stop sharing here, right? And then
There we go. Thank you.
So someone asked, are we going to do a live demo? And you bet we're going to do a live demo.
We are. That's what we're going to do it right now.
What's our favorite part?
It's our favorite part. All right. So we just redid our automations experience. We really wanted to make it simple to use, drag and drop. And we're going to walk through these steps that we've been talking about. So this is your entrance criteria, your inciting incident. We're going to kind of go through one of the most obvious ones that we have on almost all use cases is that welcome. We want to make sure we are welcoming users to the journey with us. Like, come join the journey. So as you can see, I'm defining my start block. I applied a name to it. That's a visual element that helps me see later what exactly I was thinking. And then I applied a contact list. So this is new subscribers. And then I filtered it down to favorite color because we're going to target specific people who have a favorite color. And that favorite color happens to be my favorite color, which is green. And then I start building it out by dragging and dropping these blocks. This visual element that you can play with, you can delete, you can move around until it feels just right. You don't have to set every condition right away. I think that's the most important thing with kind of working this flow out. Before you go in there and get all the nitty gritty, do the rough draft, see how it feels. What does it look like? Does it make sense? As you get in there, you can start defining your criteria. So you send an email and then you want to wait 3 days. You only want it to send on specific days of the week, only specific times of the day. You can send by time zones. That's a great question. Send it to the Q&A. Sorry, chat. I should just close it. You can then create conditions. Again, I went from favorite color, so you can create that fallback path. Anyone that doesn't have it set at favorite color or doesn't have a favorite color set, it's an empty set, can have a different experience. So maybe they're not getting emails that are all green. You can, again, with your conditions, create that customized audience. This really allows you to have that personalization in your emails that we're always looking for that drives engagement. That personalization is created through segments. It's created through defining your audience at every step. So again, you can build out those conditions. You can make those decisions. You can update those contact properties. So as you can see, I'm putting in here, they've received the 3 emails. We're saying welcome complete to true. This will tell me when I'm looking at my contact set that they have completed the journey. So this is for them, but it's also for me and my data as I optimize my strategy to understand where my users are in their life cycle. You can, as we talk about that re-entry, if you want them to be able to re-enter or not. Say, they're new subscribers, but they might unsubscribe. So you want them to go through it again, or maybe you want a different experience and you're going to set up that condition elsewhere. I would say once you've got all of those criteria set, you can really start building those emails out. I'm not going to take you through that whole process right now because that's a whole different email academy, but we've got plenty of those. You can really get in there and see what each looks like at each step and what that user is experiencing as you build out this workflow. You can see, how each user based on their criteria would go, what the fallback criteria does, what it doesn't do. Check out the emails before you're really ready to activate this. And as you can see, I want to do a specific call out. I updated people to a VIP contact list. This is not something that we want to do in practice if you are having people subscribe to very specific events. So if you're managing your contacts and you're sending newsletters or promotions and you're having them opt into that specific, don't move them away from those contact lists. If you're having them opt into a newsletter and you also are managing contact lists in a different way, you can manage how users are living within lists. From my account, I manage in all contacts and do everything through segmentation because everyone's opted into the same consent. So once you've really built out that journey, you've defined your emails, you have your goals, you set when and where they're going to receive this, you can take a look and you can publish it. Once you've published it and it's live, you can also then take a look at the statistics and make changes as it goes, right? I have to clear my throat real quick.
My favorite thing about this is there's also a test feature before you publish, right?
Coming soon to a production near you. So we're getting there. We really want to be able to get users to be able to go through the flow themselves and understand what this is like. So you can send these emails to yourself. You'll also, as you have these journeys, know where people are in the journey. This is a feature that Mailjet is really committed to building upon. So we released the brand new experience, but we're never putting it down. So keep your ears and eyes opened, or I don't know, your inbox is subscribed to Julia so that you know all of the fun updates. Again, you can, once you publish it, you can still go back and make changes as you see different things, or maybe you see a new use case or you need to update it because something has changed, and then you can republish it. From there, you can make the decision as to, if the people are in it will experience it, or if it's only new people. A lot of decisions, but once you lay out that overall flow, you can start optimizing. So yeah, this is automations.
So
Julia, aren't you
I'm a
excited?
big fan. I'm a big
so
fan.
Excited.
As a big fan of automations, this has always been my favorite part of email marketing in general. So I'm obviously a big fan of everything that's coming to Mailjet automations. Well, and already is, because this is now live in the platform. So it's very exciting. I think it's
almost crazy to talk about that because we've been working and building and planning and scheming. So it's awesome to say it's live. Go check it out. It's a part of our premium trial. So for those of you who said no, you're not a Mailjet subscriber, you can sign up. You have a premium trial. You can use it for 30 days. Check it out. Send us your feedback, your thoughts. I'm excited about it. We're going to continue building on it. We want to make sure email marketing and journeys are easy for you guys because there's a lot of words. There's a lot of decisions. We need to simplify that. I'm going to stop plugging my own feature release because I'm just so excited about it. And we're going to get back to the overall question of automations.
Yes, exactly.
Go try it. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm really excited to hear everyone's feedback about it. So go try it. Let us know. Let Natalie and I know directly. Be great. I also loved the point you made about how it's not just for your automation, your updating contact information, but it's for future segmentation and for your strategy. You're constantly improving your own strategy while you're also giving your customers your audience the best experience. So I think that was really a great way to say that.
I constantly, current me always is mad at past me for not thinking about data optimization and data collection and how I can, data-driven decisions is such a buzzword these days, but I'm always I wish I had more data on that. And then that's kind of my fault.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm always thinking data, how is this working for me to optimize, to engage, to build?
Well, speaking of which, didn't even plan on that good of a transition, but here we are. Okay, so how do you, once you have an automation going, how do you see if it's even successful? How do you see if you need to, are you reaching your goal is basically what I'm asking you. Or how do you know that you're reaching your goal? And if you're not, there's some ways you can mix things up, see how, what else can be successful for you. So A/B testing, all know I love an A/B test. You can A/B test emails, the journeys themselves, subject lines, CTA buttons, designs, or content. But just keep in mind to only test one element at a time. So when it comes to journeys, you could do the same content, but just different timing. Someone asked, what's the perfect cadence of emails? 3 days, a week, a month. test that out, see what happens. Or maybe a rearrangement of the emails. So say you have 3 emails, and then the last one is doing better than the first, or the first one's doing better than the last. Switch those around, see how that's working for the overall journey of your contact. Subject lines.
Timing is such a hard one. Timing is such a hard one. Like I just always try to keep in mind, don't be annoying. Just don't be annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, keep an eye on engagement to see if you're annoying, the professionalism of being annoying. So when it comes to testing subject lines, emojis, questions, more personalization, obviously that's like any other email campaign, but just want to throw it out there. Call to action. And I'm not just talking about like a CTA button versus a link text, whatever. You could do like the actual call to action of the email. Is it just more education, or are you trying to get them to sign up for something? Even though it could be similar content, but what you want them to do at the end of the email, the goal of that specific email could be different. And like I said, timing. Because every industry is different, every strategy is different. So what works for me and what I can tell for me, it's not going to be the same for you. But of course, if you want to provide your specific use case in the question and answer question, we can hopefully give you some more guidance, by the way. When you're analyzing engagement, is there a point in automation where engagement's dropping off? Do you have 10 emails over a year and they are people around email 5 clicks are significantly dropping? They're just kind of getting sick of, these. Why do you think that is? Do you think that it's because they're spaced out too much? They're not spaced out enough. Could be the content isn't resonating with them. So you test you can test more content. Consider what could be the cause of that engagement dropping. Which email is receiving the least amount of engagement? Maybe, it was one email that they did not like, not really resonating with that audience. And so they're like, forget it. I'm just going to unsubscribe here because that didn't hit with me, and I'm out of here. Traffic control and frequency. Someone asked at the very beginning, is there too many automations? Is there such thing as too many automations? That is a good question. You got to look at traffic control and frequency. Are multiple people, or is one person going to be in multiple automations at once? They got to work together to kind of not all send on the same day. And then if you have contact property updates or data related automations, you have to make sure that they're not conflicting in any way, so that, the same field isn't getting updated in 2 separate automations. So you kind of have to be the Oz of everything and make sure all the puzzle is all fitting together, and not just, okay, this one's over here, let it go, and we'll see what they could conflict or cause your emails to be annoying to the end user. So anyway, I could go on a lot about that. I love traffic control. I'm always looking at things. Because it happens to everybody, sometimes too much. When do recipients engage the most? That email's the most successful. Maybe that's the content you need more of, or the type of design you need more of. It could be anything. So just use that to your advantage. The overall journey started, messaged, exited metrics. When you're looking at this, I'm trying to remember what I wanted to say about this, because this is important. You don't want to just look at individual parts of your automation. You want to look at the holistic view. How many people are starting? How many people were messaged at a certain period of time and exited? Are people exiting more than they're messaged? Because then they could be exiting too early. And why are they exiting too early? Is it a problem with your automation? Are they unsubscribing? What's the root cause there? So you want to make sure that you're looking to see that the journey is working constantly, and consistently, I should say. I look at ours every day to see if there's like a drop. Did my data come in correctly? Is everything flowing as it should? Mistakes happen. We're human. We're working with technology that is not always on our side. So just
I was just to say, it's one of those, almost like, it's a kind of a good screen test for your own systems too, right?
Yes.
If you all of a sudden see like a wild dip in something, like
Yeah.
if you're not monitoring that, you might miss a mistake. And this, it's nice to have that screencast. I know there'll be times when I'm like, hey, this happened. Did you see anything here? It's great. It's a great data source for ensuring that your strategy is up to date and flowing well too.
Yeah, exactly.
So many uses. There's so many uses to automations.
Yes. So many. It's the competitive edge. Not so secret. Okay, and then last thing I'm going to say about this, like Thomas said, put your Qs in the Q&A tab for some A's. The other data you can use is audience-related data that you may not have access to. So I'm going to give an example. Natalie and I work very closely together. If I see people dropping off in our onboarding series, I'll go to Natalie and be like, and say, what's the experience around this? People are signed up for 2 weeks at this point. What are they usually doing in the Mailjet platform? Maybe I'm not sending them the right information at that time. So you want to use the other teams around you to kind of give feedback about your audience's experience with your platform, with your website. Use your resources to influence how your automation can be fixed and optimized for your audience. Like Natalie said, same for data related automations. Always double check that you're receiving the correct information. If you have new events coming in, make sure they're working properly. Test it yourself.
It's also it's vital information for the opposite side, right? She's saying she'll come to me, but I'll also go to her and say, hey, I'm getting this feedback. What are you seeing on engagement? Like, what are you getting? Like, talk to me about this. So it helps just make your product, your service, whatever you're doing, just a little better every day by staying really engaged with that automation without having to manually hit send.
Exactly. Yeah.
Almost like we're fans of automation.
It's almost like that.
Yeah.
Almost.
Weird.
Yeah, and don't forget that like your automations can bounce off one another. So once they complete a task in one of them, they could bounce to a different one based on what they did in the first automation. So it could be, again, it's going to be this constant web a little bit, but that's where the traffic control comes in. Automations do a lot of work for you. You're just going to, find the best way to make it work for you. And we are here to help with that. I know this was a lot of basics and, which is what we need, the fundamentals, but we're always here to keep the conversation going. With that, Natalie, any other notes on this before we go to Q&A, I think?
No, I mean, I think Julia and I are very good at keeping conversations going. So you'll hear more about automations and movie montages from us.
We're not done.
But in the meantime, I think we get T-Bird back up here for, I think Q&A or automations. Which one's higher? Which one do you like more, T-Bird?
I don't know. I think I might like automations more. I don't know. There's just more.
Ooh.
How do we automate Q&A? Kidding.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I get it. All right. Cool, everyone. Yeah, it's Q&A time. So make sure you throw those questions in the Q&A tab so we can take a look. And also make sure to upvote the ones that you really want answered so we can make sure we focus on the last 15 minutes of this time. So Natalie and Julia and I will take a look now. Let me see here.
I see some questions coming in the chat. Don't forget to put those in the Q&A tab.
Let's see.
So we see them.
I can move some of those over too.
Thank you.
Gotcha. Okay, lots of good stuff in here.
Mm-hmm. Not a lot of upvotes in there. We got a sleepy chat today. Sleepy audience.
Yeah, sleepy audience over here.
Yeah, we definitely know there's a holiday going on across half the world, but we're glad y'all are here with us. So
important question. Are we recording this? Yes, it will be. You can come back here in an hour and to the same link and view the recording, but we're also sending it to you tomorrow via email. So
correct.
That's an automated email, actually.
Automation.
Spoiler.
Our not so secret weapon over here.
Oh man. All right, let's see here. Natalie, Julia, is anything sticking out that you want to pick first?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you got one? I got one.
Go ahead.
Knowing that where's the share button? I'm on the wrong thing.
You're on the wrong
Knowing
side.
that non-human interactions come through for opens and clicks, how do you strategize effective filters for steps? Well, I would say there's
Oh, I think Eric
a certain
provided the
ESP.
answer.
Yeah.
Put a hidden image in the HTML, segment by hidden image, and those are your bots for the most part.
Yeah. Or you could use an ESP, and I like Mailjet, that filters bot engagement out for you.
Yes, Mailjet does filter out the bot engagement for you, and then you would know from there who they are.
I think it's a good one because when you're looking at the statistics, that's always something to look at. Even on automations, campaigns, automations, keep this in mind.
Yeah. Bots are out there. Sorry to say.
Yeah.
They are. Watch out for them bots. They're out there. They're out there. All right, moving on. Thanks for that one, Eric. Okay.
I'm going to share this one. How do you create the trigger on the website? For example, when a user clicks the button link, it will trigger the automation. That's such a good question. Thank you. So there are often with email service providers a code that you can take from the ESP and put it into your website that then will talk to each other. So then on the contact property, it shows as an event usually, or something like that. On the contact profile, it'll say, Julia visited this blog. And then you could either do an automation that says, whenever a user visits this blog, send them this email or update their contact information with this. Or it could be visits a web page in general. It could be as specific or as general as you want it.
There's so many of these, and it's essentially you just connect your two services, and they kind of talk to each other. The technical side is a little bit more complex, but most ESPs have a very simplified process for you to connect the two, and that way that your site can send the information to your ESP, then that will process and send the email.
Right.
Gotcha.
Love it.
Gotcha. Awesome. Thank you for that one, Fong. All right, moving on.
Ooh.
That one. If you have to cancel the old copy and edit the new one, how do customers continue where they left off versus going through the journey again?
How would you handle that, Julia?
Okay. So, all right. I think that depends also on your ESP. You should ask, or you should look into your documentation because everyone handles this differently. Like I know Salesforce does differently than Mailjet, does differently than Customer IO. So it just depends on your use case, unfortunately. So I can't really give you the best answer, but okay. So say copy and edit the new one. How do customers continue where they left off versus going through the journey again? So if they're already in the journey and you edit an email, I'm thinking of this as an email. Do you cancel? No, you're canceling a new journey. I'm so sorry. You cancel the journey, copy and edit the new one. How do customers continue? I don't think they will. I don't think usually that they will.
I think you have to, like, is this a one-time event that you want to set up a new thing? If that's the case, then you could probably set a contact property that's like they're at certain criteria so that you could trigger it. If you're doing it on the regular, I would say you should utilize an automation platform that allows you to edit the current one so that you can like just put an exit where your old one was. And you can kind of historically still have that while still maintaining it. Or put a lock on it so no new users can enter.
Exactly.
And then create your new one. Like put a lock on it as soon as you're ready to publish your new one so that you don't have anyone halfway through.
Right.
Because otherwise I think it gets messy. But most ESPs will allow you to like lock an automation so that no new people get in. So you can create that brand new one. So you can duplicate it, create it, and that way everyone who meets the start bot criteria, if it's the same, will then experience it.
Yeah. So what you say is like the current one, people would flow through the rest of the workflow, most likely.
Yeah.
Or
no
in
more
the new
entry.
one, no more entry. In the new
Lock
one,
the front door.
you could sometimes pull them to a specific point in automation. You can have them skip steps to where they left off. That is a little bit more complex, but it's possible. So it just depends again on your ESP. Again, if you want to send me an email,
the cleanest solution would be to lock the old one and then duplicate, edit, and then publish when you lock.
Yeah. With Natalie, Mailjet automations, you can edit live ones. You don't have to like stop and edit and create a new one.
Yep, you can edit while it's going. So you can edit it, and then as soon as you're ready to publish that version, you do so. So yeah, you can definitely do that.
However, you're updating an email in an automation, like my brain was originally going to. None of the people who've already passed that email are not going to receive that updated email, but the new ones will.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks, Kevin, for listening to our ramble.
We have so many ideas on this.
I know.
I like this one.
From Ben.
Do you want me to answer that?
I think you should answer it. What are your opinions?
Abandoned basket reminders. So they have given you their consent already to receive emails from you if you have their email address for abandoned basket reminders. So in some way, they've signed up for 20% off. They are logged in as a user or have an account with you. I think that list is separate than your blog newsletter list. So you have to be specific of where your data is flowing from and if you can email them or not. Because if they're in the abandoned basket flow or abandoned scenario flow, we should say, they've most likely given their consent, or I would hope that they did before, since you have that contact information.
That's the key, is how are you collecting that contact?
Yeah.
Are you getting consent to send? If you're getting consent to send, then yes, you can. Mm-hmm. If you're collecting that contact without the consent to send, then probably no. Let's not do that.
Let's not do that.
I probably know. I mean, like, let's just know. Yeah. So I think it comes down to how are you collecting that content?
Yeah.
Contact. You pick one. Sorry, I just keep picking questions for you. I love this game.
I'm about it. This is on edge.
Like, Julia, answer this one.
I'm looking through let's see.
Like, how do I put her on the spot?
No, it's just like a lot of them have been answered already by support, and I love that.
I mean, we can highlight ones that have already been sent too.
Yeah, can you change?
Someone asked, can you send by user's time zone? I will say every ESP has a different way of handling this. The way I've done it across, even when I competitively test, is your time zone is typically set by your account. And since you can control your conditions and you know the time zones, so I'll just set it to send at 3 a.m. my time, which is 9 a.m. in Paris, right? So that is how, even if it's not a specific feature that's offered, you can create that if they allow you to set the time of send. And I think it depends on how your ESP handles time zones, because it can be more complex or simpler. But for me, I have my main regions. I know when I want to send in those regions, and then I just do the math on my time zone to ensure. So I just wanted to throw that out there because it's not a specific feature in Mailjet, but you can do it. You can also set time of day. So if you want it to be 10 a.m. on a Tuesday or not on a Sunday, right? So keep that in mind. I'm a very creative person.
And if you want to submit that feature to Mailjet, we can highly consider it. So make sure you go to feedback.mailjet.com.
I love the plug. I love the plug.
Natalie, I'm going to send this for you. Is there a limit to how many contacts can go through a workflow in Mailjet if the workflow does not have any emails in it?
No, there is no limit. No. I mean, obviously, we definitely monitor for abuse, right? So if you're updating a million contact properties in one moment, something's probably going wrong and it's continuing to happen. And we're probably going to reach out to you and be like, hey, was this intentional? But no, for any valid use case, we are not going to limit your ability to do this. So we want you to be able to automate. Now, automations are available on premium plans. So that is inherently a limit, because if you're on an essential plan, then yes, the limit's none. But other than that, no, there's a lot of valid use cases for non-email automation. So we're not limiting that based on how big your contact list is.
Mm-hmm. I see two more I want to do so far. If that's okay.
Yeah, call them out.
Okay, great. Natalie, this is a good one for you as well. This is a big one. So our company operates in the service sector, not in e-commerce, and we send monthly discount emails to approximately 20,000 subscribers. Wowza. To avoid overwhelming our call center, we don't want to send an email blast to all subscribers at once or to multiple segments. Instead, we want to gradually send the emails over the course of several days. How can I set up an automation that distributes the send volume over time?
Yeah, honestly, this is such a cool question. I saw people kind of like giving their feedback in the chat, and I love that because we've got a lot of email marketers here. And I think the answer to this is going to be very specific on what you're trying to accomplish for your industry. And if you want to reach out to me on LinkedIn, I would love to talk about this because I think it's super fun. I saw there is like segmentation use cases, and you're trying to optimize against that because segments can get too large. So I think building in delays based on specific criteria is probably the best way to do it. And that's a great automation use case. And I would love to talk to you about this. When you're looking to delay those sends, I think those timers, you can do them on like contact properties. You can do them on just, basic time delays. You can do them based on specific like promotional events that happen monthly or yearly or just once. So there's a lot of timer options. Specifically in Mailjet, I can't speak to like every ESP, but in Mailjet, we have a lot of different timer options that can help you optimize this.
So true.
So, and like I said, I love being creative. So yeah, if you want to reach out to me on LinkedIn, I think this would be a fun use case to walk through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see it being, everyone has like its attribute like send date. That's vague, and then you assign it at once, and then like every month it would be the same send date, but for that user, and then so you wait until that send date of the month or something. I could see it. Oh,
you could even do it based on subscribe, like when they subscribed, or like certain algorithms. Like there's so many fun ways to solve this problem. And I'm a math nerd too, so email and math, they go well together.
Oh, not for me.
Those two favorite
I'm the
things.
math, you're the email.
Yeah, exactly. This was a good question. Is there a guideline? If someone hasn't opened X amount of emails, when should we set up an exit? 2 consecutively, 3? I agree with Ebtim here. There isn't a specific rule of thumb. It does depend on your audience. I would test this out and just see what kind of resonates with them. I sometimes, if I don't know, I will start with 3 nurture emails. If they don't open after 3, I give them maybe 2 more tries, but I put them in a different segment so that I know that those people are the unengaged. And then I kind of mark them as unengaged and push them into an unengaged segment. So I think it just depends, which is our favorite phrase in the email industry. It does. If you, again, like Natalie said, if you want to reach out to us and give us your specific use case, we'd love to talk about it. And we can kind of give you some opinions based on more criteria and more metrics that you have.
My personal opinion as like a consumer, as an email receiver, if I get more than 3, like I am like, no, like I've ignored you. Leave me alone.
It's but sometimes, like if you switch up the content, maybe you don't like the first 3, so I'm going to give you one more.
I'm just, as an email reader, that is not professional advice. That is just, if I'm on your contact list, keep that in mind.
Keep it fresh. Keep it fresh.
Go find Natalie's contact criteria specifically and pull her up.
Update it to no more than 3 emails. Thank you.
Let me find my LinkedIn so I can share it.
All right, y'all. Well, y'all, that is all the time we've got today. And most importantly, we want to thank our amazing presenters, our amazing experts, Natalie Lynch and Julia Ritter, for being here today. Obviously, Natalie has taken the forward approach, and she has posted her LinkedIn, and so has Julia in the chat. If you guys want to follow along with anything that they're doing else in the email world, make sure you follow them along. Natalie, Julia, last closing statements. Natalie, I'll let you go ahead first.
I was clapping because I thought you were going to thank support, not for myself. I just want to clarify that. I thought you were going to thank support, and I started clapping, and then you were like, the prisoners, and I was like, well, that was a bad look. But thank you for joining us. We love having you. That's all.
Tell us more of what you want to see at Email Academy. That's my final note.
Yes.
And thank you to support.
Exactly. And if you do want to
Talk to
be
us.
a email,
Mm.
if you want to have your case study possibly be featured with us, let us know. Let us know. And
Yeah.
also, thank you to our amazing support team, Eftim and Anastasia, and also Chloe for helping us out today in the chat and questions. So thank y'all so much. But we got to get back to work and get back to our busy days. So Natalie, Julia, and I are going to wave goodbye, and we will see all of you very soon. Oh, also, there's going to be a European Accessibility Act email webinar that's going to be coming up very soon. If you have any questions on that matter, please stay tuned in your inboxes. That's going to be a joint webinar for Mailgun and Mailjet because it covers both of our sides of the house. So we want to make sure you are informed about that. Also, make sure you watch and listen. Email's Not Dead, featured on YouTube now. You can watch and listen to that podcast as well. And we talk about EAA as well. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we will.
June 3rd, right, Thomas? June 3rd.
Exactly, June 3rd. And you'll be joining me and some more amazing people that we've got working for us. So excited. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, all go to and see you down the line. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And we will see you very soon for another Email Academy. Take care.
Bye.